I'm ready. This kid's got JV game. Oh, I'm ready. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you everyone for coming. We have quite a few presentations to go with today, so we'll get started with our class of 2021 top 10 recognition, and I will turn it over to Dr. Curtis.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Thank you to all of our parents who are here. Thank you to the Board of Education for providing these opportunities so our students could thrive and earn this wonderful honor of being the top 10 in their class. So at this time, Mr. Curtis will come down to here in the pit with me. He'll have certificates for our top 10. We will go in reverse order. So please, when I call your name and your average, come on up, get your certificate from Mr. Curtis, and get yourself social distance on that end, starting 10, and then the salutatory and valedictory will be next to us. All right. Number 10, with an average 94.06, Madeline Avery. Number 9, with an average of 94.81, Joshua Lee. Number 8, with an average of 94.92, Bradley Wisniewski. Number 7, with an average of 95.07, Sophia Schumacher. Number 6, with an average of 95.99, Paul Lamonto. Now there are two number 4s. So the first number 4 I will call, with an average of 96.62, Zachary Nikolov. And again with an average of 96.62, at number 4, Haley Hickok. Number 3 in the class, with an average of 97.18, is Caitlin Callan. Your salutatorian for the class of 2021, with an average of 99.63, Andrew Hickok. And your valedictorian for the class of 2021, with an average of 100.02, Denitza Peralta. Thank you, Mr. Curtis, again. I am proud to present the top 10 of the class of 2021. Parents, I want to thank you for all your efforts. This does not happen alone. We thank you for reading to them as young children, nurturing their education through their elementary, middle school, and then finally with us at the high school. So thank you for all you've done. Please remind your child to get their bios done. As soon as we can get their bios in, then we'll see their names in the paper. And then I will be going over and emailing them what I plan to present at the scholarship ceremony, where we will announce them again, and then finally at graduation. And I'll be announcing them not only with their average, but with their bios as well. So again, congratulations. You guys take your seats, and I'll hand this back over to Mr. Curtis. Thank you.
Next item, we have our proclamation for our scholar athletes. We have quite a few of them. I'll be reading off everyone's name individually, by starting with the winter scholar athletes, then the fall two, and then the spring. Our winter scholar athletes, athletic team was girls basketball. They had a team average of 93.64, coached by Emily Parslow. Players were Alexandra Albanese, Chia Bouchard, Abigail Curtis, Valley Salvion, Kayla Avery Shaw, Kayla Chapin, Anna Murphy, and Zoe Tessie. Our winter individual scholar athletes. For boys swimming, we had Justin Krzeski. For bowling, with Adam Lopez, London talent, Brent Wisniewski. Our cheer team, Emily Brock, Aubrey Brockham, Sydney Canty, Caitlin Fonda, Braden Patterson. And boys basketball, Giorgio Cleona, Carlos Matos, and Dominic Proetti. Our fall two scholar athlete team was girls volleyball team. They had a team average of 90.99. They were coached by Blaine Hiss. Players Madeline Avery, Emily Brock, Zoe Tessie, Elena Biasini, and Ariana Malberger. Our individual fall two scholar athletes for cheerleading, Kayla Frederick, Braden Patterson, Elizabeth Berrigan, Emily Berrigan. Field hockey, Annabelle Frisch, Celia Mayer, Charlotte Perron. Football, Simon Bruce, Giorgio Gliona, Jeremiah Hughes, Justin Krzeski, Thomas Mancini, Carlos Mitos, Dominic Boetti, Brady Renda, Tracy Tate. Boys soccer, Jack Bruce, Drew Cowan, Doug Cook, Dane Dillenbeck, Angel Perez, Sawyer Pierce, Evan Renda, and Jordan Yano. For girls soccer, Juliana Alvarez, Kayla Avery Shaw, Aubrey Brockham, Katie Callan, Lindsay Darling, Meredith Denny, Anna Murphy, and Malia Soller. Girls swimming, Miracle Conine, Finley Ebersol, Joy Kalick, Abigail Seltzer. For our spring team, this team's tennis, they had a team average of 91.37. They were coached by Mike Bruce, Mariana Benavito, Jeremiah Hughes, Sawyer Pierce, Jordan Yano, Simon Bruce, Kazuma Manto, Bradley Wazowski. Girls outdoor track was the other team winners. Team average was 92.11. They were coached by Christopher Mertzby, Andrew Facility. Athletes, Finley Ebersol, Anna Murphy, Zoe Tessie, Ashley Fisher, and Mobilano Rivera Vila. Our individual spring scholar athletes, baseball, Douglas Cook, Dane Dillenbeck, Brady Renda, softball, Elena Biasini, Miracle Conine, City Mayor, Alexis Rockland. Our boys outdoor track was Justin Krzeski. Congratulations to all of our scholar athletes for the winter and fall and spring teams. All right, next up we have a recognition for our girls volleyball team, and then over to our athletic director, Mr. Dean Driscoll.
Our volleyball team finished perfect. Season this year 15-0. Unfortunately, we didn't not have a Foothills champion because the way it was structured, we played a North Division and a South Division, and the two teams, we've never crossed division, so we had actually two teams in our league finished 15-0, we were 15-0, and so was Queensberry. We have a plaque that's going to come, I should have it next week, that's going to go in a trophy case for the girls' pitcher, all their names and their record. But we do have Coach Hicks this year, and we have certificates for all his girls, so Coach, if you want them down. Too bad that it was a COVID year because there definitely was a championship team that was championship year. Congratulations, Coach.
Next presentation, we have the recognition of our retirees.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Good. We recognize these individuals throughout the year at board meetings, but feel it's fitting to recognize them once more, as this will be the last meeting of their employment. So I'll start with our principals. We have two principals retiring this year. Mrs. Lisa Riolo and Mr. Mark Benton. We have the following teachers retiring this year: Deneen Kowalski, Angela Loria, Donna Santangelo, Francis Lefevre, Ann Margaret Javerone, Lori DeVoe, Stephen Batt, and Maria Katsakis. Maria Katsakis. We have the two speech language therapists, one speech language therapist, Andrew Kanicki, and one speech language pathologist, Holly Walrath. We have our director of facilities 2, Mr. Robert Rockwell. We have aide Ms. Kim Smith, aide Ms. Kelly Hiltz, and aide Deborah Hennessy. We have clerical Ms. Darla Rowley, and buildings and grounds employee Mr. Gregory Hayner. Thank them all for their many years of service and wish them a long, healthy, and happy retirement.
Next presentation is from CSR and Construction. So, more.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having us today. My name is Mike Anders with CS Arch, and I'm here today with Caitlin Daly, who's a project architect with me on the project, and Bob Brandy from Turner Construction, who will talk to you a little bit about budget and where we are with the estimate of the project. What should be in front of you is a BOUT document, which is our schematic design report. That's a report for your light reading, if you ever care to read through it. That's where we break down the actual scope of work that's built into the project. The fold out on the very last page is what we're looking at for the estimate of where we are right now on the budget standpoint. The other document was just a presentation we put through. You have a lot on your agenda tonight. I'm not going to talk to 40 pages. I'm going to buzz through some stuff. I can slow down and repeat and go back if anyone would like me to, but I'm guessing that's not going to be the case. So just as a reminder of what the scope of work is, there are some documents provided which are related to site and roof work. The graphics that are provided talk about the roof areas that are being replaced at Boulevard, which also at Boulevard we're doing the landscaping at the entry, new digital school sign, playground fencing, and playground replacement. We're looking at this point to replace the entire playground as part of this capital project. McNabb Elementary School, we have roof replacement and playground replacements. At Park Terrace, we're doing roof replacement and playground replacement. The entire roof of Park Terrace will be replaced as part of this project. At the high school, we have roof replacements and reconfiguration of the front lot and the east parking lot. I would say the roofing work that's going to be done on this building will be over 2% of the overall building. We're doing everything that isn't currently under warranty in this job. The next capital project you do, you'll be able to do the rest of the building because that warranty extends out past 2026. The next page on the slide is just a reminder of what we're looking to do in terms of reconfiguration of the parent hall and pickup areas in the front of the building by swapping the parking lot from the driveway and then making modifications to your parking lot on this side of the campus. Miko Elementary School, we're doing roof replacement, and at Kingsborough, the entire roof on that building gets replaced, as well as playground upgrades and the reconfiguration of the front lot and the east parking lot for improved student pickup, drop-off, and to enhance site safety. The plan that we had prerequisites attached, there have been 2 or 3 meetings, Caitlin? Two meetings. This plan is being modified quite a bit. So what's come out of those meetings is just concerns with this being too far away from what they currently have. So we're going to see if we can make something like this work and not switch where the one-way is in and out work currently, so that people that are familiar with the sites have a little bit easier access to it. It's not as radical a change. Everything is in design right now, so the next report, which could be August timeframe or September timeframe, we'd have updated graphics for you to show you where those updates are. Next portion of work, which is in all of the buildings, are secure vestibules. I'm not going to go through all of them, but what we've done is we provided plans in this package of the layouts for all of these elementary schools, high school, and middle school, with basic scope of work that's going to be associated with them. We will be, as part of creating secure vestibules, also replacing carpet, ceiling, lighting in the main office itself, all the casework, mailboxes, all of that's going to get done. So every school will have a refreshed secure vestibule and entry when you first come into the buildings. Skip a couple pages. There are pod renovations that we're doing. In the 6th grade pod and the 7th grade pod at the middle school are those wide open areas. In the center of the pod, that I'm not sure what the original intent was when the building was new. What we're trying to do is make better use of it now. It tends to extend up the storage space. So we provided a few different layouts. What the 6th grade pod is looking for is they still like the idea of having the platform areas for smaller group meetings. And then there would be a combination of innovation spaces, so maker type spaces, and spaces that could be used for resource rooms, also small private offices. So if you have a clinician come in, social worker, psychologist, they could go right to the pod. There could be a private office set up for someone that may not be full-time staff that might be brought into the building for future needs, if that exists. 7th grade is similar, except 7th grade was not looking for the built-in risers. There it was looking for a larger combination of group space, breakout space, and more of the private office type scenarios. There are some slides with corridor renovations. We're doing corridor renovations at Park Terrace at the 1st and 2nd floor. Some of this is to just brighten up the existing glazed tile that are on the walls that are very dated. The other thing we're going to do is there are a number of areas of this corridor where the walls are actually damaged from past roof leaks. We're going to get that cleaned up and freshened up just so it looks better. High school, we've got a lot of work to do in the corners and with locker replacements. We're doing quite a bit of room in the auditorium here. As our project, we are getting rid of the rickety stairs that I've watched most of you walk up and down. So these stairs are in the project to be replaced. We are providing a projector with a screen. We're replacing all of your theatrical lights, so hopefully you guys won't be blinded in the future as you sit here. We will be replacing the sound system with a new sound system. So a lot of the components we did in the last project in middle school, we're just going to bring those here. Budget.
We'll just quickly touch on the budget SD time frame here. As you know, the project was approved at $32.5 million. Right now, based on the design and the SD documents that we received, we're in a great spot at about $3 million under that. So the goal there, you can see in this pie chart here, we designed to about 90% of what that referendum was. We're looking now to take about 5% of that, put it back into the project, and that's some of the things Mike was discussing as far as now looking at replacing additional playground features at Boulevard, trying to do the whole playground as piece. We're doing PA systems in this building. Now we're going to expand that to have a standardized PA system in all the buildings. Some additional things in the stage, just some stuff to kind of fill that gap in, but we don't want to eat that whole budget. Now more than ever, not knowing what's going to happen between now and next spring when we should go out to bid. We really want to have a good buffer there. At the end of the day, we want to ensure that worst case scenario, the district gets everything that they were supposed to get in this project. Best case scenario, we come back like last time with a nice wish list at the end, a pot of money to use to do additional things. But we want to make sure that we're always covering it if we get the bare minimum of what we were supposed to get in this project. We don't want to be in a bad spot in the day. So we do want to leave a little bit of that buffer along with like disease and escalation, everything that's built into the estimate. We just want to make sure that we're always covered. And then, like I said, best case scenario, come back with a wish list, and we can get some extra things at the end of the day. And then just to touch on schedule quick, right now we are still on track with the design SD submission and approval in spring of 2022 and starting construction right away in 2022 on some site work and some other things that summer. Construction will go throughout the following 3 summers, 22, 23, and 24. 24 will mainly be roofing work that is due to warranty constrictions that we need to done before that warranty is expired. So it will be 3 summers of construction. The first 2 will be the back there, the last one will just be some roof work. And hopefully some wish list items.
Anything else?
Yeah, but the president, in the current situation with rising gas prices and lumber prices, all that stuff, are you noticing in your current projects,
Yes.
the costs are going up?
Yep.
You're getting squeezed a little bit more towards the end? So those wish lists type things are disappearing? Is that what's going on?
Correct. That's exactly what's going on. We're trying to cover that with escalation. We have escalation numbers and best that we can put in these already on top of still having that buffer there to kind of gauge what's going to happen over the next year. Yeah, knowing what's going to happen next year. Or 2 years from now, we're going to be looking back at that sort of stuff, but materials are rising, and that's all the current data that we have is reflected in these estimates to show.
That's reflected in
In
price.
Oh yeah, we're getting constant updates, daily updates.
Constant rising
Yep.
costs, okay.
Yep.
We've also recently, the district awarded, I believe the last board meeting, the contract for roofing at Boulevard was awarded, and that magically in this world came in under budget. Right?
And that's set in stone.
That's second song, we're struggling to get
done this summer.
materials, but they got their bid, they got the award that's set in stone, so, so maybe a lot of things changing over the next year, but.
We don't know where it's going to be in 6 months to a year, but it's definitely going to be a lot better than this right now. It has to be. Because the biggest problem right now is material. Materials driving everything, and if residents become available and materials become more readily available as the Canadian border opens, and things are actually let off of storage containers that are sitting in ports for some time, when that material becomes available, I don't think it's going to skyrocket. Wood is awful now because we can't get anything from
That's the
other countries.
biggest thing, even steel, things like that, just, you can't get it, so the numbers you're getting are crazy just because they gotta be crazy things to get, and you gotta be, you wanna pay for it, they can get it done for you, but. So I think in a year, it should be in a better position, hopefully, we go back towards sort of normal a little bit, but like I said, that's what we're trying to do here, is make sure we're covering you for any scenario that can happen in the next year.
Gotcha. Mike, can you elaborate a little bit more? You mentioned Kingsborough Elementary staff concerns about one changes.
It was the one-way in traffic, Caitlin, that they were most concerned about?
Yes.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So they're concerned about the one-way traffic loop from the parking lot, just making sure that that is positioned correctly so that they're not creating the same problems that they have now with parents blocking the road for the buses. So the current design now, they think it's still going to create the same problems that they have, so they want to make sure that we're backing that all in. So we're just taking a look at the design and how it's going to actually work with that traffic flow, and making sure that we are factoring that in.
Who are those concerns?
Trish and Beth brought that up.
The concerns are very reasonable. This is the perfect time to decide.
Okay. That's
Nothing
not
set in
part
stone.
of the conversation,
Yep.
do a deeper dive on that.
Yep.
And we're working those revised designs now. The only other thing that's at the back of the proposal, I just wanted to share with you a couple slides. We are using some different technology at CSR that we've used with the district in the past. There are a couple of pictures back here which show images of laser scanning. What laser scan does is it's a computer, basically it's a camera system that takes 3D pictures set up on a tripod. It pictures 360 and builds models, so it builds the school. For this capital project, we went through all of your buildings. Rather than have 10 people in your building when everyone's masked up and in lockdown, it made more sense to have one person here for a longer time to actually scan everything. So now we can all sit there with computers and have access to 3D models and walk through your buildings and count devices like fire alarm, PA, and all those systems. So it's fun technology that we've used pretty extensively through the district. The next thing is drones. We've done a lot of drone work, so there's some pictures of drone images that were captured of the high school roof. I think these are all the high school roof. It's great technology, and I'm bold to be on the roof at this point. Caitlin's young enough, but I'm way too old for her. So it's great that newer technologies are coming into the AE design process, which should help an awful lot with errors and omissions when we can sit at our desks and see the tours of all the buildings and not have to bring those bodies into your environment. That's a synopsis, hopefully wasn't too long. If anyone has any questions?
Unusual.
Right.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is public comment. We have one here for public comment tonight. If you don't see anything on the live feed, if you have any comments, please submit those on the Facebook page. Someone will be in contact with you either at the end of the meeting or after the meeting. Next item, we have board discussion. We have our Board of Education meeting minutes from the 11th, 19th to approve. Not everyone was in both, right? We'll do them separately. I'll take a motion to approve the May 11th minutes. Mike, second. By Ken. All in favor? All right. Take a motion to approve the May 19th meeting minutes by Sharon, seconded. By John, or John. All in favor? Anyone have anything else for board discussion tonight? All right, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. That's all the superintendent.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back in the auditorium. Nice to see Mr. Roll again in person. So I'd start by thanking Mr. Wilder and his students for their presentations this afternoon. Pretty comparably poor conditions. They did a great job presenting their projects, and I was really impressed with how many students we have majoring in mechanical engineering. I think I spoke to at least 5 or 6 different kids this evening. We're all going to various prestigious institutions in the Northeast and major in mechanical engineering, so it's a strong program. Appreciate the board supporting it, and it's got a new 3D printer that they're showing off. And the kids are very bright and articulate and excited about what they're doing, so kudos to them, and thank you, Mr. Wilder. I want to give an update on the masks in schools debacle. This past weekend, there was a confusing and clearly botched communication effort from the governor's office and the health department in their communication to CDC. Certainly the takeaway for me and many others was that lack of communication from the CDC would result in mask being predominantly lifted effective today. That changed over the weekend. Clarification from the Department of Education and communication with the governor's office indicated that no action will be taken on that until communication from the CDC. My understanding is there has now been communication back and forth between New York State's executive branch and health department and the CDC, and as a result, the only lifting of mask mandates is going to happen outside. So for the rest of the school year, it looks like masks will continue to be worn as they have when indoors, when social distancing cannot be maintained. But silver lining is our students, when they leave the building, will no longer need to use masks. And that's true for our athletes as well. And I was at a school this weekend watching a sectional event, 90-degree weather, watching kids run outdoors with masks on. Absolutely insane. So I'm happy to see that they're taking baby steps to get where we need to be, but I'm looking forward to our students being in a position to remove these masks because it's impacting their education, the nonverbal cues, and the ability to concentrate with folks. So I apologize for the mixed messaging and confusion that this rollout in the last 3 days has caused. We certainly share the concern that people have and frustration, but it is what it is, and we will stay in compliance with New York State Education, New York State Department of Health expectations. So for the time being, unfortunately, masks will remain in use in schools when social distancing of 6 feet or more cannot be maintained. Hiring update, we are closing well. There are a number of quality candidates on tonight's agenda. Continue to interview. Happy with the positions, people that we are getting. The interview process has been competitive, and we are doing well. We got out on the front end a bit early, and I'm happy with where we are. You'll notice that there's more positions posted, and some of those are a result of the funding that we have through the American Rescue Plan, the 3 AIS math positions in the elementary that are posted, right? They are currently posted. Those are grant-funded positions. And because of these federal monies that are there, it will make it certainly clear to candidates these positions that these are contingent upon the allocation of that funding. And if there's a way that we decide can't live without them, well, we have several years to figure that out in our own budgeting process. Speaking of the American Rescue Plan, we are building a robust summer program, K-12, and we hope to grow it even more in the next 2 years. And again, what we see working well for students, there may be a way that we can continue to service our students in a manner that engages them academically, socially, emotionally, and by creating experiential enrichment opportunities. This year, Dennis By High School's done a nice job of putting together exactly that, a great menu of items for students, not just credit recovery, but experiential learning opportunities for our kids. And we hope that parlays into better attendance and a real collective energy for students excited to come back to school in September. We have our work cut out for us. It's been a difficult 16 months in a school that already struggled with attendance. But I'm pleased with where we are. The administrative team and the staff have risen to the challenge and the call to action for this summer. I'm happy with where we are. We hope to grow more in the elementary, working with Mr. DeVidistris and his coaches. We hope to have even more sporting opportunities and for students of all ages, but mainly focused on 3rd through 8th grade with opportunities for team sport play with our varsity players engaging these students as well. So I've told the administrative team, but when it comes to engaging kids and doing what we can to address the COVID slide or the impact of the COVID pandemic, federal funding has come our way through the American Rescue Act. It makes it so that funding at this point is not an obstacle. And you don't hear that in our business very much. So we need to take full advantage of that. I'm happy with where we are. It's something that we keep on talking about, and we want to ensure that we do not take advantage of this opportunity for the sake of our students. So there's a lot on the agenda tonight. You see the plans for the summer enrichment programs. It's not what our typical summer schools have looked like at all. It's much larger, and we hope in the next few years it'll be more so. And then our challenge down the road will be, how do we maintain this for the kids that are still here? Obviously, it's probably going to look different. It will be downscaled. There will probably be regional summer school opportunities academically that will take its place. But as an organization, it'll be incumbent upon us to look at what our successes were in this, with the use of these funds, and try to maintain what is prudent to maintain. Any questions on American Rescue Plan funding? We're also looking into ventilation and airflow improvements. The district was awarded $14 million, and there's a certain component that needs to be used for students. I would like to use as much as we can for students, but the truth is, we also need to look at ventilation and airflow. Part of a large portion of the funding is put out there with the expectation that school districts are going to take advantage of this to increase air quality in school buildings. We're working with our architects and engineers on exactly that. I also wanted to mention an update on Talking is Teaching, the little free libraries that are all at 3 elementary schools. Great. I stopped at all three today and looked at the books. A lot of cool little kid books. Looks like Park Terrace picked over pretty good. Might need to get resupplied here shortly. But the city has also put several in, and I think all in all there's going to be 11. So I want to thank all who donated to that, both in the city and in the school district. And Ms. Brown, Nancy Brown, who spearheaded this, has done a phenomenal job. And her and I are going to speak to the pediatricians of Maple Hospital on July 7th to talk about that piece of it, where the pediatricians are speaking to young parents about the importance of talking to your children, reading to your children. This is an endeavor that will take years possibly to see fruitful results from, but how it's so important it can't be overstated. Parents are the first and most important teachers in a child's life, and it's never too early to start speaking and singing to your child and reading to your children. So I want to really thank her for leading the charge on this. That said, end-of-year activities are full swing. It's great to have some semblance of normalcy in end-of-year activities. Still a bit of a combination of some virtual events, but all in all, we're moving forward. It's much better than it was last June, and we look forward to seeing our graduates on the stage on June 25th at high school. Very important. And I will be a few executive session items.
Sure. Anyone have any questions? All right, move on to the next item is the student board member report. Cole?
For my report, I asked students what they wanted the next school year to look like if they had anything off of this year with COVID. And the main thing about it, what they just want a normal year, no masks, senior privileges, be able to sit with all your friends, have all the chairs at the tables, and all that type of stuff. The sports, no masks, but as of today, nobody masks anymore anyway. But, yeah, students just want a normal school year, come in every day so they can see their friends and learn. Any questions?
I just want to say, as a student board member, I mean, we've had some pretty great ones, and you're right there in the top, top two of that since I've been on. Thank you. I appreciate, everything you've done, informing us your end, because it's important. And I hope your replacement is just as good as you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Well said, Mr. Salviano. Done a great job, Cole.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. So I here's Cole's last.
Hold on, wait a minute.
You got more?
He never brought you.
Oh, he didn't. Oh my God. Never mind. You got to get your black pen. All right, I'll speak with you. Tonight's Cole's last meeting as a student board member. We do have a little something for Cole for thanking him for all of his work. Next item we have is recommended action. We have quite a large number of recommended items, 7.01 to 18.85. Anyone need anything pulled to go on separately or any discussion?
Was it 14.01? Well,
Take a motion to approve those items 7.01 through 18.85. Motion by Benny, seconded. By Mike. All in favor? Aye. Everybody but all right, now I'll take a motion to move into executive session to discuss contract and personnel items. Motion to go into executive by Benny, seconded by Sharon. All in favor? There'll be no action taken afterwards. Thank you everyone for coming.